email about the new location. We are experimenting with the whole idea of live streaming and OWL, and we will get your input after a time to see what is preferable for us, okay? We want to welcome our guest, Mark O'Leary. We're glad he's here. He's going to present later in the meeting. Hopefully we don't bore you to death with our, business. Please excuse my mask, but I'm a cougher, and so I might have to duck out and take a cough drop. I hope I don't have to do that. But we'll see how we go. Let's take roll. Wes Kendall.
Here.
Emily Knut. Here. Greg Schwipps.
Here.
Vince Aguirre.
Here.
Sue Murray.
Here.
Denise Sigward. Marilyn Culler. Megan Wager. Kathy Morgan.
Here.
Jason Hartman. Alex Chamberlain.
Here.
Heather Klingen.
Here.
And Bob Judell.
Here.
And Rick Woodall. And me.
Oh.
Yeah.
He just spoke for Rick.
I know. Good,
Got Rick covered.
good timing, my man. Okay, awesome. Let's look at the minutes and see what you think about that. And I will entertain a motion or have a discussion with those minutes.
I'd make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Okay, thank you, Sue.
Second.
Okay, a motion from Sue and second from Vince to approve the minutes as presented. Any other discussion or any discussion? If not, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. And I will turn the financial report over to Jared at this time.
Okay, you'll see we have the balance sheet, the profit and loss, and the transactions for February. I do not have anything in particular to draw your attention to, but if you have any questions, please let me know.
As you peruse over the financials, are you seeing anything that you have questions about?
Is our current surplus compared to last year at this time because of anything not spent for the year, or is it because we have more money? Or do you know?
I think we have more money. I do think there's still some of I think there were things
Like
Eric
annual
and Mike were
Yep.
spending that,
We're not doing yet.
that we're not doing, that I'm
Okay.
still learning, but
Okay.
yeah, so.
Cool.
And I will say I would imagine, just with some things that have happened this month, not bad things necessarily, you'll see we will spend a bit more. For she and I going to the conference, honestly, it cost more than I really foresaw. Being in downtown Indy, it's probably the most expensive the conference could
Yeah.
be. Just time you figure parking, all those fun kind of things. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Any other comments or questions for Jared?
I'm motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve the financials as presented.
Second.
And there's a second by Emily. So any other discussion or questions? It's your last chance. If not, all those in favor of approving the financials as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried to approve the financials. We do want to talk, I'm going to let Jared just give you some updates about strategic planning, still in the works.
Yes, so, and honestly, I will tell you something I didn't really say here, but coming out of the conference, I went to a number of things, really was, I went to a number when they had breakout sessions of administrative type things, just because that's where I still feel, like there's a lot to learn, obviously looking for outside help. So I went to a few things regarding that, came out feeling a little bit better and really feeling like that's what I'm going to focus a lot of my energy on in the coming months because, well, we're due for a new strategic plan. So one was one thing that I think I had told you maybe a little bit about was this K&M Collective at Indiana University, which is a partner between the School of Business and the IU Media School. One question last month was if some of these things were conducted by students. This one is, but under, consultancy with guidance of IU faculty. The one downside I have learned since I sent out the initial is I'm going to have a call with them next week, but it doesn't sound like they have availability until fall. Because there's been a lot of desire for that. So, that's not as helpful to us as I'd like it to be. We talked about, we had, when we did it 5 years ago, with the Purdue Extension Enhancing the Value of Public Spaces program. I have reached out to Janice for that. I have not yet heard back from her, but I will be chatting with her. I don't know if that will be as good of a fit for us this time, simply because our focus isn't quite as much on public spaces, parks. I mean, not that we're abandoning that, but you know, if we're looking at doing something a little bit differently, but I still want to talk to her. And then regarding the opportunity at Ball State, I should be hearing from somebody next month, but I went out of my way to talk to Brian Blackford, who runs that, just to kind of, you know, put a name with a face a little bit more, and, you know.
Was he at the conference?
Yes, he was at the
Oh,
conference,
great.
yes. So yeah, he facilitated a session that I went to. And actually in that session, there were a couple of different DMOs who talked about their recent process going through this. One of them in Noble County seems like their model's not quite the same as ours, but they're similar to us in size. And she is a director who's only been at it for about 4 or 5 years. So I thought, here's somebody who's still relatively new, you're at a small place. So I think I'm definitely going to try to get a hold of her and pick her brain a little bit. And it's not a short trip to Noble County, but if I think it could be worth my while, maybe even go up and try to visit with her a little bit. Because she has grown hers. What's that?
Where, was it northeast?
Yeah, it's near Fort Wayne.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, like north or east, you know,
Mhm.
that general area anyway. So yes, I was just trying to make contacts with a number of people, obviously still trying to gather information, but I definitely, one of my reflections on the conference was toward the end, I started getting a little overwhelmed with how much there is to do, how much you can do, but, you know, kind of refocused myself by saying, what is the number one thing you need to be working on? And for me, it's the strategic plan. So.
So I read through it, and I knew the strategic plan is gonna be on the agenda. And I thought, well, this would be a good opportunity to waste 2 or 3 hours of my life and read through the strategic plan. And there's an incredible amount of information in our current strategic plan. And there is an incredible amount of objectives, thoughts, secondary possible objectives for the future that were, you know, because there was a section out that said, this isn't gonna be one of our objectives, but here's some possible objectives. And
Sure.
my thought after reading through it was, do we need a complete redo of a strategic plan, or do we just need to go through that strategic plan and update it?
Okay, I think that's,
Because it was a very good strategic plan.
sure.
Unless we're gonna take a completely different direction, then we probably need to start.
Right, and I think that I don't want to abandon what we've done, so I don't think we want to take a completely different direction. I do think my desire, now granted you are all my bosses, my desire is to move us back a little bit more toward promotion, not simply development, which was what we did. We're trying to turn that over to the Parks Board, but there are funding questions about that as well. So that's something that a long look has to be taken at on what our role is going to be and what the role of the Parks Department, if any, because we're trying to figure out if the county is actually going to take that over as we wanted that to happen.
I think this is something we need to spend some time on, maybe
That's
next
definitely-
month, as we don't have tons
I mean, you
of-
can sit there, but.
But I'm Jeremy, yeah. Because we've talked about, and I'm just gonna
You just wanna
mention
turn the
ideas
chair
that Jared and I have talked about, and one is the, I don't know if you read in the banner that the Big Walnut, there's some folks at the soccer association wants to develop build a building so that they can host tournaments, and I very much think we need to think about developing the sports part of our community, and to promote that would bring lots of people to Putnam County for those kind of tournaments, softball, soccer. So that facility is very, they need that building. So, and then my other thought is thinking about the arts and because that bull show is next month, I was thinking about other fiber arts, like we have the quilters, we have the woodworkers, we have all kinds of crafters here in Putnam County, and I think that would also, besides music, I think all those things, we could build something around an arts festival. Those are just two ideas that I would like us to pursue because I think the building blocks are there. But I also, I'm a big proponent of the outdoor rec, and so I think we want to continue. Your point about not reinventing the wheel and looking at the old plan is definitely something we need to look at. But I also want to just really kind of open us up to what other resources do we have that we could, really develop as far as tourism in Putnam County, because we have some.
Yeah, we definitely need an eye towards what's missing.
Yes, yeah, thanks, Bob.
Yeah, and I think for me, one of the big questions, or one of the big thoughts is there's so much we could do. What can we do well? How much
Yes.
do we need to be broad, but how much do we need to be focused to make sure things
Yeah, and
actually get
maybe
done?
all those can't do it at 5, but maybe in a 10. Maybe.
Right, absolutely, right.
Those were just things that, as we interviewed folks for this position, we got ideas from them, and I think those are worth pursuing. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Jernigan, about strategic action?
I do not have anything else at this time.
So
Like I said,
let's
We'll continue pursuing those, but again, with the thought toward, here's what we already have as well.
Yeah, and let's think about, I want you all to think about, so we could do some brainstorming about what you see as the potentials for development in Putnam County. So next month, let's spend 10 to 20 minutes having a brainstorming session and get your ideas about things that, whatever is moving you or whatever you see as potential ideas. Okay?
So keep this on old business for next month?
Please,
Okay, yep, okay.
Okay, Mr. O'Leary, take it away. We're glad to have Mark O'Leary here from the Dust Bowl 100 and all the cool things that they have brought to Putnam County. Take it away,
All
sir.
right, thank you very much, and thank you for allowing me to come here to speak today. I would say I'll go through the package, Jared, thank you for putting this in there. Kind of just a high level 1 or 2 pager of kind of what my ask is here today. We'll kick it off with some initial background info. Feel free to ask any questions you want. I can go as deep as you want me to, but I also don't want to spend all afternoon in here. So I know Vince, Wes, Jared, Rick are all familiar with the event, but for anybody else, I'll go through it real quickly. So this will be our 6th year of the Dust Bowl 100. It's a gravel race. We do start in Eminence and end in Eminence, but 95% of the route is in Putnam County. Come in basically right from Eminence, get onto the east side of the county, go all the way up to Bainbridge area, and then back down, hit the east side of Greencastle, and then finish back in Eminence. So 95% of the route is in Putnam County, on the Putnam County pavement and primarily gravel roads along that side of the county. Like I mentioned, this is our 6th year for the race. We started in 2021. We sold out at 400 participants, and we were capped at that because of COVID at that time. Each year we've increased our participant count, 200 people, kind of just to see, okay, we had 200 people, what does this do to the feel of the event? How crowded does it make the roads? How much parking do we have? In each year, we've gone up 200. We've sold out those 200 spots each and every year. So we are at 1,400 participants for 2026. Sold out. We opened registration January 1st, sold out before the end of January. So 6 consecutive sellouts. A little bit more on the event. It's been a welcoming event for both new beginning cyclists and then those that have a lot more experience. We have professional riders come in from across the country. This year we'll have participants from 33 states, 5 different countries represented. So the growth of the event, or the reach of the event, continues to grow each year. And 2 new things that we're doing this year. We are a part of the USA Cycling Junior Gravel National Series. So USA Cycling is the governing body for cycling in the United States. And they have a series of 10 races across the country for junior participants specifically, to then have a chance to qualify for the national team and eventually lead into maybe an Olympic spot or those type of things. So Dust Bowl will be part of that.
What's junior?
Junior would be 18 and under participants. And then we partnered with actually Wes for one of his events, and with Boone County, a couple of their events for the Indiana Race Series this year. So just trying to get, again, more participants in the cycling community and grow all of those events in the area. Kind of the tourism and economic impact that we've made over the past 6 years. So for 2026, we have, again, 1,400 participants. Right about exactly half of those are coming from out of state. So 703 out of state participants, again, representing 33 states and 5 countries. With a lot of those coming in from out of state, we do have quite a few hotel stays involved with that. So last year, 30% of the participants stayed at least one night, 13% stayed 2 nights, and 9% stayed 3 nights as part of the event. And the length of the stays, each year, the length of stays increase, more people are staying in town, more people are getting here earlier in the week to ride the course beforehand and just get a feel for everything. So we see that go up each year. The estimated economic impact just for the 2026 race will be about $505,000. And through the course of these 6 years, will be around a $1.6 million economic impact. And again, the average spend per participant continues to increase each year. Obviously, with those people coming to town, it's going to drive a lot of business here, hotels and lodging, et cetera. The Putnam Inn is one of our, or sorry, not Putnam Inn, the Inn at DePaul is one of our official hotels for the event. Obviously, have a lot of people stay in Cloverdale. We've seen Airbnb stays increase as well over the last couple of years. Obviously, impact on restaurants, coffee shops. So Almost Home here in town caters a meal for us Friday night there. In our tech guide that we send out to all the riders, we highlight a lot of the restaurants in Putnam County and say, hey, if you're in town, go visit these restaurants. Convenience stores, obviously, the course goes right by convenience stores in Groveland and Fillmore, so people are going to be stopping there. If they can't make it between our 8 stations, they'll stop there. I think Wes has made a stop in Fillmore once or twice. Pick up some ice on a really hot race day. And then we all, people come throughout the year to ride the course, and we'll, utilize those facilities as well for that. And then outdoor recreation, we actually utilize, I think it'll be 6 miles of the Vandalia Trail this year as part of the race course. Then we always get great feedback that people love that portion of the course, and we have people that come in again throughout the year just to ride the entire length of that Vandalia Trail because they see that as part of the race course. So bringing more people back into town for that. So any questions, I guess, kind of on the high level overview, and then I'll kind of get into what I'm looking to do next.
My only question, because I know nothing about bike races, so what does the money go, like sponsorship money, what is it spent on?
Yep, so there is a lot of infrastructure costs that go into it as far, I mean, we have the Putnam County Sheriff's monitor all the highway crossings for us, we pay them for that. We have stages, we have awards, we have large tents, banners, all kinds of stuff that go into that.
Yeah.
But then kind of what we give back as well. So we've made monetary donations to Putnam Parks and Pathways each year. As a result of that, we give all of our leftover aid station supplies to local food pantries, give back that way. Because Eminence is the host, we donate bikes to those students there each year. So we gave, I think, 16 bikes last year. We always joke that I think they have 200 students in their school, and so we've given a bike to about a third of their student population, and hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, we will have given a bike to almost every kid there. So we support Bicycle Indiana, which is the local or the Indiana advocacy group for cycling, making it safer. They do a lot of legislature work. I know they've been here in Big Green Castle to look at sidewalks and safe paths to school. So we support them. We support the NICA or Indiana Youth Cycling League here in the state by giving scholarships each year to participants there. So it's a mountain bike cycling league that started about 5 years ago in the state here. They have teams within the schools or groups of schools, and they have races across the state. So just trying to get more youth into cycling. So we donate a lot of the proceeds to that as well. So that's just a handful. We try to get back as much as we can.
Yeah,
So
that's nice. Thank you.
Yep, good question. So kind of what we're looking to do, always each year trying to do something to differentiate the event, to grow the event, to make a larger, I guess, national impact or footprint. Right now, I'd say we're in the top 10 to 15 U.S. gravel races as far as participant count, popularity, recognition, those type of things. There's a handful of races, probably 5 or 6 races that I would say are larger than us now, have anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 participants. A lot of those have the support of Lifetime Fitness behind them, so they have a massive millions, billions of dollars marketing budget, those type of things. We're kind of one of the small, what you would say, grassroots that's trying to push up and get there where those other ones are that have a larger funding behind them. So what I want to do this year, and has started to come around in gravel racing but hasn't really taken off yet, is a live stream of the race. Again, those handful of really big ones have done it to varying degrees over the last couple of years, but really it's not a route that's been explored too much. So we are working with a company called 10.1 Productions. They're actually based out of Indiana here, out of central Indiana. They got into live streaming regatta rowing races probably 15 to 20 years ago. They do national and world level championship races for that. They've also live streamed mountain bike races. They also have helped with live streams for Ohio State football games. So they know what they're doing. They've done it quite a bit. And I've been in communication with them actually since the first year and just haven't taken the leap to do something with them until this year. But the plan would be to have a professional race broadcast of the I guess the professional riders at the front of the 100-mile course, both the men and women. We have motos out there with those riders with cameras. We have drone footage, have finish line cameras. We'd have interviews too with people back at the venue, and then would also work in interest pieces on local attractions, sponsors, racers. Last year we did our video series was based on the community impact that we've had. So we had 9 videos for that. So that's one of the things we would work into that live stream. Just trying to promote the area and what we've done with the race. With that, the kind of be about a 6-hour live stream, kick off maybe 30 minutes before the race, and then the pros finish the 100-mile course in under 5 hours. So they move pretty quickly through there. So we catch that whole race. Plan would be to live stream it on YouTube. That's kind of the most popular option there and the best option to get the most reach there. But would also then pull clips from that or share clips to Facebook and Instagram throughout the day as well. Reach for that, again, not a ton of gravel races have done this before. It's kind of a new thing, and this would obviously be the first year that we're doing it. So it's hard to really put a number on reach, but from what I've seen from the few races that have done it, the viewership on YouTube has ranged from 10,000 viewers to 360,000 for those. So we're not going to hit 360,000. That's the what they call the Super Bowl of gravel out in Kansas. That's got that's up there, but I think we can definitely be above that 10,000 viewership range, if not more than that. So. Again, we'd share on Facebook and Instagram throughout the day as well, kind of that stream and different clips from it. And just last year for the race itself, we shared a couple clips with that and hit 18,000 viewers through those platforms on race day last year. And then one kind of unique thing here, we do have a 17 by 10 video board that we are going to be having out at the venue as well. So that will display the live stream for everybody there, friends, family, support crews that are there for the event. And we have a 63 and 44 mile race, and a lot of those people will be finished before the 100 milers are finished. So they'll be back at the venue, create some excitement. They'll be watching that live stream and see the riders come in for the finish. So
is that's at the Eminent School, the end date?
Yep. And so the thought there is that's a good way for a sponsor to kind of reach kind of that captive audience that's already in town. They're going to be sitting there watching that live stream, and have that opportunity to reach them as a sponsor there. And then, so how I think kind of this ties in with the Putnam County Visitors Bureau is obviously outdoor recreation is a key thing that you all have pushed. And I think I've done bike races across the country, across the entire state. And I don't think there's much better place to ride a bike and to show off and show off that outdoor recreation in Putnam County. It's close in proximity to Indianapolis. People have an easy time to get in through the airport. But then it's still far enough out here where they feel like they're not just riding through city streets. The terrain is beautiful. You got the rolling hills. It's not just a flat race, but it's also not climbing up and down mountains. So it makes it a really good place to come ride a bike. And I think between the Dust Bowl, a couple of events West does, Pedal Putnam and Get Buried, DePaul Little 5, I think just Greencastle, Putnam County continue to grow as a cycling destination and a cycling hub. And it's funny, every time I go to city council to get approval to use some of the streets in Greencastle that we use, there's always at least one, if not 2 or 3 other people there to ask about different cycling events and usage of roads for cycling events. So I think within Indiana, Putnam County is really leading that scene. So really, my ask here is I'm looking for a title sponsor for the live stream. With that, a lot would come with that. So we'd obviously have, it would be the Dust Bowl 100 live stream, powered by the Putnam County Convention and Visitors Bureau. We'd have, a title slide, play that up at the beginning of the live stream. We'd have a logo bug, the Putnam County logo bug on the screen the entire time for the live stream. We could work in any advertisements, local attraction pieces. I know on Instagram, the videos and reels that have been on Instagram in the last couple of months have been great. I think those would be awesome to work into a live stream and just promote the area more, get people interested in coming out to Putnam County to visit, to ride a bike, to hike, whatever that looks like. And then obviously we'd have, throughout the race, we will have announcers, so they, would play up Putnam County with the motos, the drone footage, all that stuff is going to show the area off very well. And then just, you'd also get the same general sponsor recognition. So logos on our t-shirts, website, all the banners at the events. We would do special, email marketing inclusions, social media inclusions, and those type of things. So all in, kind of the dream ask here to cover a majority of the expenses for the live stream would be a $15,000 title sponsorship. And again, that would be the exclusive live stream and presenting rights for that, and all those things I mentioned, plus anything else you would want me to include to give you guys the value that you'd be looking for in something like that. So I think it's just a great partnership, or it seems to be a fit. And I've noticed with the few live streams that have occurred is the visitors bureaus, the state tourism boards, those things are really present and prominent on those other live streams, because there is a reach. There's people interested in watching that and then saying, hey, that looks like a great place to ride a bike. They've got the hotels, the restaurants. Maybe I want to make a weekend trip there and experience it myself. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, what I want to do now is ask you to step out.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Oh, yeah, of course,
Okay.
of course. I'm sorry, yeah, of course.
30-second destination promotional videos.
Yep.
How many each hour? One per hour, one per 6 hours, 6 per hour?
Honestly, that would be
On air mentions, how many times, things like that. What's our exposure for 15 grand?
Yeah,
Or,
it could be as much as you want.
We'll take 5 hours and 50 minutes.
I think like the Instagram reels, the 30-second reels, those type of things would be great to mix in. I'm thinking every 10 minutes or so, and just it, with the live stream as well. It's a 6-hour bike race. It is going to be a bit boring if we just had one camera on the riders the entire time.
No,
So
understood.
you want to add things
I
in.
get it, and that's trying to cover 100 miles.
And
for 6
there's
hours.
it's through cell cards, so there's gonna be a few downtimes too where we have to add stuff, but we do want to keep it interesting, and my thought is probably every 10 minutes have some.
The promotional videos, it would be up to us to make those, so there would be a cost involved for those, correct?
There would
So
be,
there would not, this company would not help us make
correct,
those, correct?
yeah. Again, I think to some extent, I think we could pull what's been done on the Instagram reels and those type of things and use those, but anything else specific that you want us to include, we could definitely do that.
Those are my questions.
Good questions. Thank you, sir.
Just
Anybody? Who else?
I'm a techie, not very good at techie stuff, but I assume this is something that will also be in an archive, so it would be
Yes.
able to be recalled for a number of years.
Yep, correct, yep, yeah, it would be live streamed, but then that would be saved and stored on YouTube and for as long as it stays, as long as it stays up there.
As long as there's enough data centers.
Yeah.
Mine is just a numbers question. You said
You didn't want me to go there, did you?
200 people every year.
Yeah.
Is there ever a point where there's a cap to that, where you can't go any higher with racers? Or,
It's one of those I've debated, it's every year, just see how that year goes and then
Yeah.
reevaluate. Now, being in Eminence, you guys probably all know, it's a very small town. We
Yes.
use every single paved parking spot. We use their largest field in town to park. So at some point, we're gonna bump up against, we can't stay in Eminence because of the lack of parking and
Yeah.
infrastructure there. So,
Don't you have campers too? I mean, people who camp there on site?
yep, there's a lot of people that come in and camp, make it kind of a 2 to 3 day weekend there as well. So we keep expanding what we're doing there. So that said, we'll either get to a point where A, we cap it because we can't grow anymore in Eminence, or B, and I've thought about this a lot, is we move it somewhere else. And obviously it would be Putnam County we'd move it to, whether
Okay.
that's Cloverdale, whether that's Greencastle,
Okay.
to start the event, start and end it there, and then keep it all within the county, would be the next step. So
Okay.
definitely something I contemplate and think about and have tentative plans all over the place
Okay.
of what
Good
it
to
looks
hear.
like in the future. So,
So, Marcus, really just that way, I'm sitting here thinking like, what could we do to get it to be near Cloverdale where we can almost guarantee people would stay in our hotels? Like, is there anything, not for this ask today, but
yeah.
anything we can be thinking of or doing to help, like, make it make sense to start it in Cloverdale next year? Or in 5 years, or
Yeah.
is it just something you wanna wait and see?
I think part of it, so I guess the ask would be, we're plug and play in Eminence now. I'm pretty much a one-man show, and it makes it easy to go, and we've got the relationships there. To move it would take a lot of work, and again, being a one-man show, that's tough, but if I could get support and some of you all in the corner and saying, hey, here's a connection here, or have conversations with people in Cloverdale or Greencastle, wherever that ends up being, that would help make the move easier on my part, so.
I understand the emotional attachment to Eminence, and I don't want to, it's a lot for that little community. And
Yeah.
so maybe even if we thought about, if we did move to Cloverdale, somehow, still keeping their, some kind of connection to that.
Yeah, I think you
town
can still
and
route the
school.
course through there and still have maybe an aid station there,
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that, so.
That was my question, it's just, what's the reason for moving? Is it size?
It would be.
Eminence can no longer hold that, or is there other reasons too? Just wanna make sure we don't, put each other against each other.
Yeah, no, I think it's primarily would be a size thing, at this point as the event grows, and, hopefully we get on the scale of those top 5 or so, but races where we're getting 3,000 people per year. So that would be the impetus to move there. And one other thing I didn't mention is we do what we call a recon ride series. So we have 3 times leading up. So one in April, one in May, one in June. We have riders come out on one weekend day and we'll ride a 30-mile portion of the course. So they can see that prior to the event, get some experience there. So we have 80 to 100 riders that show up for those. Those all start in Putnam County. We've used a sports park before, North Putnam High School. We've done at different churches. So that does draw people into the community too, outside of just race day. They're coming in at least for those 3 rides. for
That's
those.
cool. I did not know that.
Do they get a swag bag or something that we could throw some?
They get a swag bag, so yeah, anything you would want us to include into that, we can do as well.
Okay.
So.
You're telling me there's a shorter distance than the 100?
Not for you, not for you.
We're gonna need you to ride from Emmons from Greencastle to Emmons and then start.
We had a lady last year, or the second year, rode from Lafayette, started the event, finished and rode home.
What? In one day?
In one, and she slept maybe 2 hours once she got to Eminence and then rode back afterwards.
Nice.
She should be on a poster.
Yeah,
She's a legend.
that's awesome.
It's crazy.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
It's crazy.
thank you.
Wonderful. I'm excited about it.
Thank you for the opportunity and,
We'll be in touch,
yeah,
okay?
sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Jared.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the opportunity. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sorry for the loud baby.
Oh, no, they're great.
I've got 3 at home, so
Okay,
I
I
understand.
understand.
so.
No, no,
Yeah.
you're not loud at all.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Mark. Do we,
Do we
what's,
have 15 grand?
yeah, I don't,
That's the
No.
very first question, isn't it?
No, we don't have.
Yeah.
We have 20 in the total budget that goes to niche marketing and 11
Right.
spend.
Yeah.
So,
Very first question.
and what's the timing for this decision? Is it, I mean, do we need to decide today or can we, well, it sounds like we really can't do 15, so.
I think we can sit on it. And so Mark came to Jared and I told Mark, I'm like, yeah, I can do the whole proposal, but just be aware, like, we definitely probably can't do all of it, maybe we could. I think we can sit on it, like, and I live the same life as he does.
I know.
Like, he will wanna nail it down, but he won't need to know until June-ish.
Okay,
Oh, wow, okay.
I mean, it would be preferential to like be able to decide before then, but yeah, he'll be kind of hammering that stuff out.
Is he doing the live streaming regardless of our input?
I think so, so like to his point, there really are, he's like, he's probably like 8 or 9 as far as the big gravel races that are happening right now. And like one just occurred in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they did 3,000 people. And then there's one in Kansas, and there's one in Hastings, Michigan. And what we're seeing is like visitors bureaus are starting to embrace them because when they come to Hastings, they're a full weekend of events and everything else. Yeah, so I think, he's gonna make it happen just because I think he wants to distinguish Dust Bowl. Yeah,
could we offer him less is what I'm thinking.
yes,
You know what I mean? He's saying 15, we say, what about 10? We still get everything.
15's for 100% sponsorship,
Right,
right?
Right, yeah, that's what and I even wonder, I'll say I haven't looked into this and I'm trying to find, but is there a partner that we could, I don't even know what that is.
Like every town that it goes to.
Person, yeah, like.
Or what
I
about
don't know if they
Friends
have
of the
that.
Park? Cause I mean, to give some background for murals, it's not just the visitors board that gives money, it's the visitors board and Friends of the Park. And like we route money a couple of different ways that are coming from those organizations. And I'm wondering if that's a way to collaborate with Friends of the Park right now, especially since their office is not really part of our office anymore,
Right.
So maybe this is a way to rebuild that relationship between those two organizations. That's been a little bit stagnant. Just a thought, if they would
those are
want,
good thoughts.
if we would be willing to go 7,500, would they go 7,500? And then we could get the full 15,000.
Does anybody know how much this is costing Friends of the Park? And this might be a lean year for them, all of a sudden have 7,500, so I don't know.
Those are all, and even the small towns that they go through, if their city government, we did a 30-second video for Bainbridge, a 30-second, that's a,
Why would we not think about some of the businesses.
Mhm.
I mean, I think governments are tight on money.
Yeah.
And so why would we think about,
Yeah.
you know, like with these 30-second spots?
Yeah,
We could sell 30 seconds, so
Right.
we'll cover the fee, but we can sell 30-second spots.
Right.
and like, because I'm thinking about the mural, a 30-second spot about the murals.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, I think some could be for Putnam County, like we would pay half, let's say, I'm just using a number.
Yeah.
And then for the other 7,500, those are sold to chamber members and people and businesses in the county and that kind of stuff to have a 30-second spot.
I think that's a great idea.
do we have the capability to do the video
That's-
work ourselves,
that's the
is the next question, and do we feel?
We
Looking
being
over at you.
Alicia.
Girlfriend.
That's why I said.
We're so glad you're here today.
Yeah. She had actually just asked, she actually has a video she was gonna be working on, and she, a few minutes ago, was like, do I still need to be here? I said, at least till the end of this, because I can see it coming.
Because he's not wrong, the TikToks and the Instagram reels and that stuff, it's been great. I would be fine with that level of production value. Are we all okay? I'm looking at Vince too, cause he's got that background.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll work.
I don't think it needs to be more complicated than that. And then it's just a matter of if the businesses are willing for that production value, which I think they already are because they've already asked you separately to do work for them.
Well, and then those could get recycled, right?
Yep.
And used on, so
Our
our
channels.
social media.
Yep,
Well, and
or their own channels too,
Right.
yeah.
I feel like some of this would be recycling, you know, he kind of was citing things that we already have in place, you know, so. Yeah,
But yeah, I
I think
don't
it kind
know.
of cuts both ways, you know, but, you know.
So
Would
you're,
we be putting UV on capacity, or is having stuff like that to do?
No, so. Is Vince gonna do it too?
For a fee? He's a businessman.
I'm a little busy on my pro bono work right now. Really though,
so are you saying to ask businesses to help sponsor where did this conversation go? I got lost.
I think, and it wasn't my idea, so if I'm misquoting anybody, I think the idea was if we were to do it, build in part of that model that we're gonna try and sell in those spots.
Because don't forget competition, it's spring and it's the 19th of March and I think I've already had 6 requests for sponsorships.
Sure, I get it.
Different things around the county.
Yeah, and that's right at the end of fair, and there's always, you know, I know
So,
from,
and, I mean, in my life.
there's always
There's always
sponsorship.
other.
Yeah, but still, yeah.
I was more thinking about things tied to tourism. So the hotels, restaurants, you know, things like
No,
that,
understood.
more than
Yeah.
feeding.
No, I'm not saying individual.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking broad out. You know, every business has their dollars for marketing and
Yeah.
figure out the best.
I thought it could be co-presented by the Putnam County CVB and Endeavor Communications.
Well, I was like, I wonder how they're gonna get internet all those places.
Yeah, right.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, someone.
Who doesn't want a large Big Mac hamburger?
You'd be surprised, I think.
Yeah, that's where we hit up, man, gas stations. I think we could do, like, even if it's just seed money, and he's a go-getter, like, even if we said, like, here's some seed money, and here's some ideas of people you could follow up with, I feel like he would do that work. And it takes it off us, and we could say, you know, here, go talk to the Friends of the Park, here's some other business contacts we know. And then he's got several, because he's from Plainfield and works for, I think, he used to work for Cook. I don't know who he works for right now, but he would know people in different industries to talk with as well.
So throw
And
in,
originally from Terre Haute, so he has
Yeah.
connections that way too.
so throw everything out the window and let's focus on dollars. How many of those dollars does this board have that it could put toward this project? Is it $500? Is it $5,000? Is it, what is in our budget for those line items?
Sure.
And what is available?
Well, 9,000 left not
Back to
spent,
us,
but
Sue,
not
Sue.
allocated. I wish I had it in front of me, I guess I can grab this over here.
So to me, that's the key where you start.
We
I mean,
have
not to say you
20,000.
can't move things in
No,
other
I
places,
understood.
but yeah.
Well, and what's coming the rest of the year?
Right,
It's
that's,
just like,
that's my thought too.
we've got murals this year that the visitors
Right,
has always contributed
Exactly.
to.
Right.
You know, we're not asking for, you know, the asks in the past, because visitors board is the one that started, the murals have been like 30,000, 20,000. This year it's more like 5,000. So it's,
Think about an event like this though, it is heads and beds.
right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
Correct.
And it's,
You've got 2,000 people probably coming to this event between wives and kids and everybody else in there. I mean, the hotels are probably gonna jack up their rates because they know they're gonna be full for the event.
Well, and I would wanna make sure, like, if we are gonna buy into this, then I think we need to be that, like, we need to be the name on the screen.
right.
And that's my concern, if we ask him to go out and find other
Right.
sponsorships, then we're no longer in control of it.
So in niche marketing sponsorship, there's 2,500 that I don't have, like, something that I think is coming up. Now, in outdoor rec support, there's 5,000. In, outdoor rec / tourism development, there's 9,000. Now, we can talk whether that's, a fit or not, but those are kind of the places that were built into the budget that had contingencies. With the understanding that some of it could move around, but.
Didn't we have a line in the budget of undesignated? Did we?
Well, there were, there were undesignated kind of under each of those. I don't think there was just a whole, I don't think it was just.
We didn't have
the entire
something labeled as
Yeah.
undesignated.
But in terms of what was designated to each of those three, there was,
I guess another way to think about this too is how much this could help grow the event, which could ultimately down the road mean the event moves to Greencastle or Cloverdale.
sure, mhm.
So is it an
It's
investment
definitely,
in growing it? I don't know the answer to that, but it's just.
Yeah, and in recognizing that he's already sold the slot, like, there's not more people coming because we're investing dollars. These people are already coming regardless of us investing. And so that's kind of in the back of my head, like, if we can't afford to do our 15,000 is not going to affect the number of people actually coming at this point. They're
I
already
meant
coming.
with the broadcast of
Streaming.
attracting
Yeah,
right.
yes,
Like, does it have
that's
that
where it,
impact?
yeah.
Yeah, I think this is exactly the type of event we should be focusing on. I mean, like 1,400, 2,000 people with a high propensity to spend. How much does it cost to ship a bike if you're flying like that? Like those people
Especially, like,
are
overseas.
spending money in our community. And to the point, I personally, I think, we're probably already losing a bunch of these riders to plane deals since they're flying in, parking, and doing evidence.
Sure.
But with the long-term goal, if it grows big enough, we are primed to be the host. And if it's in Cloverdale, I don't know, I'm not a cyclist, but I run, I like to stay as close to my race as possible. So if it's starting on, right outside of C-Bar-C, you're gonna stay in Cloverdale. So I think it's the right thing, exactly what we should be investing in with whatever money we can invest in.
Okay, my number brain can't stop. All right, and I apologize for
Keep it
that.
going.
Good.
No, that's good.
So if they allow us 6 30-second ads, if we put the whole 15 grand, and they allow us 6 30-second ads every hour, it's 36, of course. So at 15 grand, that's $13.89 a minute for every, so what are we gonna get out of that minute for $13.89? So I'm sorry, that's just the way my.
No, that's awesome.
I mean, I think add to that, if they are making sure that it's mentioned, if they've got the bug on the screen all the time. And I don't know how to quantify that in this math we're talking.
Okay, or $417 for every 30-second ad. I'm sorry, I kind of went way too far with my math, but.
Good.
$417.
And
I'm just, those are the things that I think of. What exposure, because I get it. There's people, if you do the math, you said 30%, 1,400, that's about 50 beds for one night. You got 50 bed heads for one night, and then do the math for the rest, but, so I agree, but it still comes back to, do we even have $100 to donate to this in our budget? Without getting into a savings account or wherever else.
Right, and I'm just gonna, because that's the other thing, is like, there's money
So
in
to me, we
savings,
need
but I'm
to-
not asking to
We
do
need
that.
to decide that first, and then that's when we go step two, but, one person's opinion.
I personally would be fine with pulling from savings because we've done well over the last year in order to see this through this year and see if there is a way that we can bring it to Putnam County in future years. Cause I see this more as an investment year for us. And still like, let's help our budget by selling those ad slots to area businesses if possible, but I mean,
And still using the partnerships that we have at Friends of
Exactly.
the Park. I think
Yeah.
if they are willing to.
throw in something.
Yeah.
I'm just more concerned about us being in control of that as opposed to outside. So that's why I would suggest we do the 15,000 and then we try to recoup our 15,000 in ways that we can.
And just remember then that in people power, that's gonna cost us more than 15,000
Yes.
as a total.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wes, how realistic is it that this could become like a top 5 national event, or like how high can it get?
I think it'd be like top 8, top 7. Yeah, I mean, that gravel is growing around the world right now, and so it's trending in that direction. I think it could be like a top 7 event, and I mean, I see why he's trying to do this. The ones that I've seen that do live stream, it's like, think about the Monon game, where it's basically a commercial for Fallen and Wabash. Like, the Visitors Bureaus basically have a plug-in commercial that runs on the hour, and I think that's kind of where his mind is going as well. But that would be on us to come up with that as well. But we know people.
Mhm. Well, and something I believe he said to us, I don't think he said today, is, in a sense, the whole thing is a commercial.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here they are going through beautiful Rolling Stone covered, if they go through Rolling Stone, I don't know, but you get my point,
Yeah, if they're getting 18,000 views on a race day post, I mean, the YouTube video is gonna end up with hundreds of thousands of views over its lifetime. And that's perpetual advertisement. And to your point, I mean, if you ever watch a minute of the Tour de France, you look at it and you go, wow, I'd love to go there one day, and it's gonna be the same, if they have drones and footage, it's gonna be the same thing.
I think we can like work with them and convince them and say, hey, just bring this to us. Like Hastings, it's sponsored by like Subaru of Hastings, why not York? And like a very similar model to what like the Summer Music Fest does, where we put up, because then you've got, anytime they do awards, and that's what he does in Eminence.
Yeah.
But you have a big display, it's like, we are showing off this community. It creates great opportunities. But if we do this, we have to say to Mark, like, we are hoping that you're gonna bring this direction.
I feel like we need to move, we got some other things we need to talk about, and, so let's let's just put this on for old business next time, and then we'll make that a vote.
For
I want-
next month, can you give options of where
The money.
5,000, 10,000, 15,000 can come from, or
Yes.
whatever?
Yeah.
Yes, we need that, definitely.
Scenarios of,
And could we float the question to Friends of the Park?
Yes.
Are we comfortable with
I like
Jared
that idea.
doing that?
Yes.
Floating the
No, you're
question.
good, you're good. No, yeah, okay, definitely do that.
Thanks, Jared.
Yep, and it.
Okay, I feel like, I wanna just skip planning for covered bridge. I still wanna talk about that, but this is important, and that's important too, but I also don't wanna keep you, later. But Kathy, I want you to talk about your thingy.
Okay.
'Cause
So,
yikes.
really quickly, the Cloverdale Main Street, which is, I am on a board there, we have a project that we want to redo a huge light that is in Cloverdale. It's an industrial looking light. And we have asked for funding from the Putnam County Foundation to help us with this project. The town of Cloverdale will be a partner with us. The project cost is $39,000, but it would be well worth it because it would be like a gateway welcome sign to Cloverdale. We have, we're looking basically to redo the existing light fixture that's there. and put a sign up. So I just wanted to kind of bring it up really quickly. The cost is $39,000. I would love the CVB to be part of it. I have asked the Putnam County Foundation for a large chunk of that. The town of Cloverdale has committed to $10,000, I think. Okay, they have committed, and so I wanted to see if the CVB would be willing to also like commit to something for that. I can send the,
When will you hear from the foundation?
we're meeting them tomorrow to kind of show them the site, and then I haven't even filled out the grant. I'm still like probably 30 days on the foundation grant to be filled out. And this would go away if they say no, right? So, but it would be a really nice entrance to the exit right off the interstate.
I would clean up an ugly sign.
It would really clean up an ugly sign, yeah, and it's visible from I-70. And the reason that we aren't replacing it or doing anything like that is because of all the permits that would be needed to do that. So this would put a whole new facade there, painted, replace anything that's not there. So I can send more details,
Yeah.
like in an email, so everybody can kind of read
Let's
about
do
it.
that.
I think that would be better than me talking about it right now.
And then after you get the yay or nay from the foundation, please send that to us.
I would have to, so they'll tell us something maybe
Oh.
Friday, but I have to fill out the grant still, and I
Yeah.
have to say I've got these community partners willing to help me.
Yes.
So I'd have to need some kind of something
Yeah.
from you guys.
Okay.
If it goes through, this is what we would be willing to do,
Yeah.
possibly. So, yeah, I'll get that for everybody and send it out.
Thank you.
And while I'm not here just to tell you that we should spend all of our money, this is something else that I think is a good fit to what we do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'm just gonna briefly, Jerry, I want you to briefly talk about the conference and then I wanna wrap it up.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. So yes, big things that came out of us going to the ITA, this is just speaking for me. Alasia needed to get back to work on something, but, there were a couple of things we're associated with that were nominated for awards, didn't end up getting those, but it was still a wonderful night, time to get some ideas. That was Tuesday night.
What were we nominated for?
So it wasn't us directly, but Music Fest was nominated
okay.
for best festival or event.
Okay.
And our collaboration with Park County Covered Bridge on the Where to Stay campaign.
Cool.
So I had my first in-person meeting with my Indiana Tourism Academy class, and these are drawn from all over the state and very different. There's a girl I sat next to she's in Hamilton County, so she's a cog in the wheel. But then there was another lady that's from Huntington County, and she is it. So I'm like, oh, you have even more to do, you have even more widespread attention than I do. So I think there's gonna be a lot of people that I can draw on, that I can learn from. Actually, one of my classmates is from Visit Madison, who I referred to elsewhere. She's actually very experienced, but has never gotten around to actually being in the academy. So I think she's definitely somebody I want to learn a lot from, because I think Madison does a great job with things. And so just like to learn a little bit more about what they have going there, including recently, in the last couple of years, raising their innkeeper's tax. So that's definitely something that we're still talking about, but I'd like to learn a little bit more about what the process was like. A couple things one thing that came out, several of our speakers at main sessions, which included Trey Mock, who is the creator and the performer as Blue, the Colts mascot. There was an AI expert named Todd Brook, and then another party was actually one of three, but the executive director of the Indianapolis Airport, Mario Rodriguez. They were talking, all of them in different ways, about empathy, about how much tourism is about making a connection with people, so I'm not even sure where I'm going with that, but I just want to keep that in mind, that there is such a human element to what we do, especially the AI guy. He talked about, here are all the ways AI can do great things for you, but what it can't do, or what it does very poorly, is relate to people. So that's where you always have to keep it in mind, And honestly, Mario Rodriguez from the airport too, he talked about how that's the biggest thing that they look for when making hiring decisions is, does this person show that, are they going to give a good customer experience? And he said that's the big, people always tell us, this is my favorite airport, a lot of people say this is my favorite airport, and he said that's what's lacking in a lot of these other places. And so, And then I just intentionally sought out sessions or personal interactions that had to do with just some of the administrative things that I'm still trying to learn. Things like the strategic planning, like the can't think of the right word now. Legislative side of what we do. I'm just trying to soak in all I can on that. So that's the 3-minute version or whatever that was.
You can read the rest of the partnerships reports in the packet.
Can I say one other thing real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, so one thing I noted that was not an original because I just didn't think about it. On March 2nd, when I one of the first things I do every Monday morning is I go in and have an email that has our leads for the week. Leads over the time I've been there have been anywhere from I think the fewest we had was 25 one week, we've had up to 78. Well, this was published the last week of February, and I came in March 2nd to 413.
Wow.
So that's 413 visitors guides I sent out around the country. So, and I even tried to look last year, I think around that time there was a bump to 200. And then I went 2 years ago, and there was one time that Eric sent out 6,000. I have to think that was something different. I don't know what that is, I need to pick his brain on that one. But, so yes, if you go from the back, there are spots that say resources. And we have an ad that we buy with, along with Vigo and Park counties, covered bridges. Yeah, right here. So it is on page 110, second row, all the way to the right. And that is what all this is generated from. We have inquiries every week of the year. Like I say, the fewest I've seen is 20 some, and the most I've seen is now 413. So
That's crazy. Thank you so much.
I would say, as we do our next visitor guide, and I think this might have come from you, which will probably be something I'll need to work on later this year. I would love it if I could figure out a way to get some kind of sponsorship or something to make that trackable, right? That people are actually getting to the community. If there's just some coupon we could put in there. I don't know exactly what that is, but I think that'd be great because then I could say,
Smart goal.
we sent out 3,000 this year, and I have proof that this many actually used them.
Nice.
Now granted, occasionally I'll have the people that are here in the community. I actually even had one from, I don't remember who it was, somebody that I knew very well a few weeks ago, and I actually put a little Post-it note in it and stuck it on the inside, just to be cute,
So we're back to now fourth Thursdays.
Yes.
No more third Thursdays. But what did we wanted to have different places to try as far as the OWL goes and meeting, having our our live stream meeting. So do we have a April?
We don't have anything for sure. One thing I wanted to talk about, I know that Greg had emailed me after I said about the change of venue and saying that he might not be able to stay till the end, and he may be packing up now, I don't know.
I just pushed my class start.
Okay, all right. But
Thank you.
so we've talked about, Kathy has offered Endeavor. I'm sure if we went to Endeavor, Greg would be out. I mean, that doesn't make it a deal breaker, but so one of the things I want to talk about is if we are exploring other places, are there reasons it wouldn't work for folks? Also, do we have a room that could be set up like this? I know we talked about some of the county or town meeting rooms. I don't know how easily they could accommodate a board of 15 at a table. But, I would be willing to look, that's ultimately not my decision. I think it'd be fine to look at other places. And again, I'm sure Endeavor has it. And I think it would be great to get to other places in the county. But again, that's ultimately up to you guys. It is your meeting, not mine. Also, the inn can accommodate us. I don't exactly know the software. It is not OWL, but they do have something in Social Center B that we can use. Yeah, that is video conferencing.
And Endeavor can do this as well.
Yeah.
Can you you think that fourth Thursday, the April 23rd?
I was gonna say, why don't we do it in the summer so Greg can come?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Literally, just
Duh.
change it to the summer
Okay,
and.
duh.
I don't want to be difficult, y'all, but
That'd be
All
easier.
right.
I'll- Anybody that's in Greencastle that,
June,
you
yeah.
What would we,
Could
Go
you
ahead.
do it June, the fourth Thursday in June, could you confirm that for us?
Yeah, well.
Then we'll meet at Endeavor.
all right. Would you like me to talk to the inn about going back there next month, but using that space that actually has? the video
Yes.
conferencing? Okay.
See how that goes, and let's just tentatively, unless you hear different, we'll just plan on going back to the inn in the April And we'll go from there, okay? Thank you all so much. Appreciate all your great thoughts and input about all our topics. I'm very excited about, where we're headed and what we might be able to accomplish.
You want a motion to adjourn?
I do,
There you go.
ma'am. Moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah, they're crazy. It's like-